I was really very, very fortunate, very grateful to be a part of a great group in the Fever this year, and making it to the playoffs is my first one. And, it may have not, went the way I wanted it to, but I feel like for me, it was a big moment for me individually and our group collectively.
While everyone's focused on Clark's record-breaking moves, something bigger is brewing in Indiana. Two veteran Fever stars just dropped bombshells about their future plans. And it's not what anyone expected. Kelsey Mitchell and Erica Wheeler, the team's current leaders, aren't just talking about playing with Clark. They're revealing a strategy that could change the entire WNBA, a landscape their recent interviews exposed plans that nobody saw coming, and one of them just posted a cryptic message that's got the whole league talking. Let's start with Kelsey Mitchell's game-changing interview that's got the whole WNBA talking.
More specifically, I felt like I took the proper steps as a player to put myself in a situation to be there. And I can only give my grace to God, but also to my teammates for making it, possible.
The Fever scoring machine didn't just praise Clark. She laid out exactly how they're planning to dominate the league together. Mitchell's averaging 19 points per game. And instead of worrying about sharing the spotlight, she's actually excited about Clark's arrival. I have so much respect for Caitlin, especially how she handled everything Mitchell revealed. When she shine, they shine. And when they shine, they get paid. That's not just nice teammate talk. That's a veteran player seeing that bigger picture. But here's where it gets really interesting. Mitchell's due for a core designation around January 11th. And sources say the Fever are ready to offer her the max contract. We're talking about a serious payday. And Mitchell's recent comments suggest she's all in on staying in India. Think about what's happening here. While other stars might feel threatened by Clark's arrival, Mitchell's actively recruiting her. During a recent overseas game, Mitchell even wore Iowa-colored shoes, a subtle hint that had WNBA fans going crazy on social media.
You lead the Eastern Conference in scoring after the Olympic break. Take me through how you were able to accomplish such a high level of consistency, maybe even a higher level than you had already been achieving.
Like I said, I always say this, my dad was the blueprint for everything that you guys see, and I knew what I needed to do. I knew what sacrifice I needed to make in order to make an impact on the team, and I know what I need to do to help C-Squared and AB and our young ones to achieve such goals. And so I personally had made it a goal of mine, a focus of mine to stay in the gym as much as I needed to. And I knew I needed to kind of stay low and stay, into the process.
The numbers don't lie. Last season, Mitchell shot 44% from the field, while averaging 19 points. Now add Clark's college average of 8. 4 assists per game to that equation. You're looking at potentially the most explosive backseat court in WNBA history. But it's not just about statistics. Mitchell's been quietly building something special in Indiana. When she first joined the Fever, they were the league's worst team. Now they're making moves that have the whole WNBA nervous. Just
finally maybe feeling like you've been recognized at the level that you've been playing at for a little while.
Snub, not being snubbed. The All-Stars was just a pillar to my process. Like you guys are able to see what I am. And, that's the good and the bad and the ugly and the sweet.
The game's changing. She said you need multiple scorers, multiple playmakers. What we're building here in Indiana, it's something different. That something different is starting to look like a super team in the making.
Fever All-Star Kelsey Mitchell talked about that in a latest piece of Players Tribune. In the article, Mitchell said that instead of the pressures splitting the team, they instead grew stronger together. The Fever guard said that she was proud of everyone for battling through their adversity.
So sources close to the team reveal that Mitchell's been in constant contact with the front office about their plans. She's not just accepting Clark's arrival. She's been part of the planning process that's huge for a franchise that's trying to change its culture. Let's break down what this Mitchell-Clark partnership could look like. Mitchell's an elite three-point shooter who hit 162 threes last season. Clark, she's already famous for those logo 3s opposing defenses won't be able to double-team either of them because the other one will make them pay in transition. Mitchell's speed combined with Clark's passing vision could be unstoppable. Remember those full-court passes Clark made famous in college? Now imagine Mitchell on the receiving end, already one of the fastest players in the league. But here's what really has WNBA insiders talking. Mitchell's leadership style. In her recent interview, she showed exactly why she's perfect for mentoring Clark. I've been through the pressure, that expectations. My job is to help her handle that while still being herself. The Fever's head coach Christy Sides couldn't hide her excitement when asked about the potential pairing. When you have two players who can both score and create for others, it changes everything about how teams have to defend. She explained industry experts are already calling this the most important free agency period in Fever history, with Mitchell likely getting Clark presumably coming in as the first pick Indiana could go, from league doormat to title contender. In one off-season, Mitchell's also been talking about the business side of things. She understands that Clark's arrival means more national TV games, more sponsorship opportunities, and more exposure for everyone on the team. Rising tides lift all boats, she said in a recent podcast appearance. The timing couldn't be better. The WNBA's popularity is soaring, and TV ratings are hitting record numbers. Mitchell and Clark could become the face of this new era, bringing both old-school WNBA fans and Clark's massive college following together. During practice sessions, Mitchell's already working on plays that would maximize both her and Clark's strengths. She's been studying film of Clark's Iowa games, looking for ways they can complement each other's styles. But perhaps the most telling sign of Mitchell's commitment to this plan came in her latest social media post, responding to a fan asking about sharing the ball with Clark. Mitchell wrote, "Great players make each other better. I'm not worried about shots, I'm worried about championships." That championship focus is key, and the Fever haven't won a title since 2012, and they've been rebuilding for what feels like forever now, with Mitchell and Clark potentially forming the league's most dynamic backcourt. That drought could end, said an NBA legend Reggie Miller, who knows a thing or two about Indiana basketball, recently weighed in what Kelsey and Caitlin could do together. It's scary they could be the Splash Sisters of the WNBA. Mitchell's also been clear about the financial impact. "When your team wins, everybody gets paid," she said. "Look at the Vegas Aces, their whole starting five got big contracts because they won. That's what we're trying to build here." The Fever's front office is already seeing the impact. Season ticket inquiries are up 300% since Clark announced she's going pro. Mitchell's JY jersey sales have spiked too, as fans anticipate the historic pairing. Looking ahead, Mitchell's vision is clear. She wants to build a dynasty in Indiana, and she sees Clark as the perfect partner in that mission. "People keep asking if I'm worried about sharing the spotlight. She said, I'm worried about hanging banners with both players capable of scoring 30 on any given night, and both willing to create for others. This could be the beginning of something special." In Indiana, Mitchell's not just accepting Clark's arrival, she's embracing it as the key to taking both her game and the Fever to the next level. The rest of the WNBA should be worried, very worried. Nary. Now here's where things get really interesting. Erica Wheeler, currently the highest paid Fever player at $222,000 per year, just dropped a series of cryptic posts that got the entire WNBA community buzzing. But to understand the weight of these messages, we need to dive deep into what's really happening in Indiana first. Let's look at Wheeler's exact words. Her initial post read, "I'm scared of people who lie with ease." No flinch or nothing. Hours later, she followed up with, "Excited to share this news with y'all. It's been a long time coming. My team made it happen." These aren't just random tweets, they're calculated messages that hint at major changes. Wheeler's currently playing overseas, making waves in the International League, but her focus seems firmly fixed on what's happening back in Indiana. Sources close to the team reveal that Wheeler's been in extensive talks with the Fever's front office about restructuring her role both on and off the court. Here's what makes this situation fascinating. Wheeler's $444,000 two-year contract makes her the team's highest paid player, with Clark's arrival imminent and Kelsey Mitchell due for a max deal. Something's got to give. But Wheeler's latest moves suggest she's not just accepting change, she's helping orchestrate it. Let's break down the timeline of events. Last week, Wheeler made headlines when she posted about a mysterious Zoom call involving players from other teams. This wasn't just idle chatter. It was the first hint that something big was brewing. WNBA insiders started connecting dots between Wheeler posts and the Fever's roster moves. Then came the social media activity. Wheeler started following several high-profile free agents, including some from championship contenders. But here's the twist, she also began engaging more with Fever-related content, especially posts about Clark's college performances. The real bombshell dropped when Wheeler responded to a fan asking about her future in Indiana. Her reply, "Sometimes you have to take less to get more. That's not just crypto talk, that's a veteran player signaling her willingness to be part of something bigger. Wheeler's journey makes this even more significant. She's the only undrafted player in WNBA history to become an all-star. She fought for everything she's earned, which makes her apparent willingness to restructure her deal even more meaningful. But it's not just about money. Wheeler's been mentoring young players throughout her career. In recent interviews, she's talked extensively about the importance of building a winning culture. It's not about individual success (ESS) anymore. She said it's about creating something that lasts. The timing of Wheeler's post coincides with some interesting developments in Indiana. 1. The team's been quietly upgrading their practice facilities. 2. They've hired additional player development staff. 3. Season ticket sales have skyrocketed since Clark's announcement. 4. Several veteran free agents have expressed interest in joining the team. Wheeler's role in all this, she's positioning herself as the perfect veteran presence for a team on the verge of something special. Her experience, leadership, and willingness to adapt could be exactly what Indiana needs to make this transition work. The numbers support this strategy. Last season, Wheeler averaged 5.6 assists per game while shooting 38% from 3. Those aren't just good stats, they're perfect complementary numbers for a team about to add a generational talent like Clark. But here's what's really interesting about Wheeler's cryptic posts. They're not just about basketball. Sources say she's been working with the Fever on expanding her role beyond the court. There's talk of a future coaching position, team ambassador role, or even front office work. The business side of this can't be ignored. Wheeler's popularity in Indiana makes her valuable beyond her playing career. Her jersey sales remain strong, and she's been a key figure in community outreach. The Fever know that keeping her involved long-term could be crucial for their rebuild. Looking at the larger picture, Wheeler's moves reflect a changing WNBA landscape. The league's growing popularity means teams need to think beyond just collecting talent. They need to build sustainable cultures. Wheeler seems to understand this better than most. Her latest social media activity also hints at recruitment efforts. Several free agents have mentioned Wheeler reached out to them about something special brewing in Indiana. That's not just player talk, that's veteran leadership actively building a contender. The financial implications are significant. If Wheeler does restructure her deal, it could give Indiana the flexibility to 1. Offer Mitchell the max contract she deserves. 2. Create space for Clark's eventual rookie deal. 3. Potentially add another key free agent. 4. Invest in long-term team development. But perhaps most telling is Wheeler's increased interaction with Fever fans online. She's been responding to questions about the future, always with the same message: trust that process. Something big is coming. Industry experts are taking notice. ESPN's WNBA analyst recently said what Wheeler's doing in Indiana could become a blueprint for how veterans help rebuild franchises. She's thinking beyond her playing career. The impact is already visible in the locker room. Young players on the Fever have been vocal about Wheeler's influence. She's always talking about the bigger picture. One rookie said, "It's never just about this season. It's about building something lasting." Wheeler's latest moves also suggest she's thinking about her legacy rather than chasing a bigger contract elsewhere. She appears focused on being part of Indiana's renaissance. That's rare in modern sports, where players often prioritize short-term gains. The international angle adds another layer to this story. While playing overseas, Wheeler's been studying different team-building models. Her recent posts have referenced European clubs, known for successfully integrating young stars with veteran leadership. Looking ahead, Wheeler's cryptic messages might be setting the stage for an announcement that goes beyond just player contracts. There's speculation about 1. A new team leadership structure, 2. Innovative player development programs, 3. Community involvement initiatives, 4. Long-term organizational roles. The timing of all this isn't coincidental, with Clark's arrival approaching and the WNBA's popularity soaring. Indiana has a unique opportunity to rebuild their franchise. Wheeler seems determined to be a crucial part of that transformation. Her latest social media activity suggests an announcement is imminent. But whatever it is, it's clear that Wheeler is thinking about more than just next season. She's positioning herself and the Fever for long-term success. The rest of the WNBA is watching closely. If Wheeler's master plan works, it could create a new model for how teams rebuild through veteran leadership and strategic planning. More than that, it could turn Indiana into the league's next dynasty. One thing's certain: whatever Wheeler is about to announce, it's going to change the landscape of the WNBA. And based on her recent posts, we won't have to wait long to find out exactly how the Indiana Fever are about to shake up the entire WNBA And now you know exactly how it's going down if you want to stay updated on more WNBA insider news and analysis. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Mitchell and Wheeler's plans will make Indiana the next WNBA super team? And for more breaking WNBA news, check out my video on why Caitlin Clark could change everything by clicking the card above.